Have you ever heard a sentence in Portuguese and thought, how was I supposed to catch that word? I've never learned it. It's frustrating, but it doesn't have to stop you. So I'm going to show you a strategy that turns those missed words into a great way to grow your vocabulary and what steps to take when you get stuck. What I'm talking about here is intensive listening, when you replay a short clip until you catch more. This doesn't just improve your listening, it can also build your vocabulary, because you learn new words in context and the way they actually sound when they blend into the words around them. So, how to actually use listening to turn blanks into new words learned. The first thing is choose the right kind of content. Pick content you genuinely enjoy, ideally with real Portuguese subtitles, not auto captions, although they're getting better and better. If you need a starting point, try this YouTube channel, Discovering Portugal. It has Portuguese subtitles and it even has the same videos in English and Spanish, which can be super useful. I'll tell you why in a second. Watch the video once with no subtitles. Then give yourself a quick understanding score out of 100. Even if it's 20 out of 100, that's fine. That's your baseline. Now, an option here is to watch the English version before you carry on with the following steps, just to understand what's going on. Sometimes that's the confidence booster you need when starting out to train your ears. Now, select 10 to 15 seconds of the video each day. More if you can handle it, but keep it short. Transcribe what you hear. Ideally words, but even if you can't make out a word, write down what it sounds like to you. If the sound ends up being close to the word, it's definitely a good sign. Then check the subtitles and highlight what you missed or misheard. This really helps make it stand out. Now, here's the bit you've been waiting for. For any new word you discover, make one quick decision. Do I need this word in my life? If yes, write down the full sentence, highlight the word, and then write one sentence of your own and use it sometime in the next few days. If not, skip it and keep moving. You don't need every word in the Portuguese dictionary. I certainly don't. After about 5 days, look at what you missed collectively and find one pattern. For example, one unschooler in my program often misses the letter D, which is much softer than it is in English. But once while doing this exercise, she actually heard com do graus, with the degrees, instead of com de graus, with steps. She claimed it was a vocabulary fail, but look at how close the sound was. Com do graus, com de graus. And notice she heard the D this time. This was a good reminder that it's easy to mix up and U in fast speech. But also, I knew she'd heard the graus before. All she needed was to hear it again. Realizing what you're not quite catching makes a huge difference because it allows your brain to map out how Portuguese actually sounds. Finally, for the last step, watch the full video one last time. Again, with no subtitles, and give yourself a new score out of 100. Most people get a higher score, and that improvement is what makes you want to continue. And you'll also start catching words you didn't even know 5 days ago. Let me show you what I mean. This unschooler listened to a clip at full speed and was shocked by how much she understood. She even caught words like fraca, tende, and ferramentas, words she couldn't use yet. How is that possible? Because intensive listening doesn't only improve listening, it also gives your brain a head start on vocabulary. The more you listen, the more you recognize sound patterns, word boundaries, and common sequences. So you start recognizing words before you can actually use them. So yes, vocabulary helps listening, but listening also builds vocabulary. Now let's recreate that right now. Shall we do an example together? Bora. I'll say a sentence 3 times. Your job is to write what you hear, words if you're sure, or sounds if you can't quite catch the words yet. Pause the video if you need more time to write it down. Gosto imenso de cerejas, mas não me faz bem à digestão. Gosto imenso de cerejas, mas não me faz bem à digestão. Gosto imenso de cerejas, mas não me faz bem à digestão. Gosto imenso de cerejas, mas não me faz bem à digestão. Feel free to share in the comments what you heard. And now let me guess. Perhaps you struggle with the words imenso, cerejas, and digestão. Not a problem, I've got you. Imenso means a lot or so much, and it's super useful. Here are a couple more examples. Viajo imenso no verão. Comi imenso ao almoço. Only keep cerejas, cherries, if they're relevant to your life. If you love cerejas, yes. If not, move on. As for digestão, well, on paper it looks similar to English, digestion, but in real speech it's not the same sound, right? Digestão, digestion. That's why learning it through listening is powerful. You see, instead of a frustrating moment where you were about to resign from learning Portuguese and leave me talking to myself, which clearly you didn't do, this now turned into a fulfilling one. You learned 3 words in context, you know what they sound like, and you learn to prioritize them. If you start including them in your writing and in your speech, I very much doubt those words will be a problem next time you hear a native say them. Vocabulary building takes time, but you can speed up the process when you combine it with other skills. If you want ideas for videos that work well with this method, start with Discovering Portugal. And if you want my list of native resources with audio plus text, plus a simple guide to use this 5-step routine, you can download my mini tuga from the link below.